Vishnu As A Human, by Krishna's Mercy. Chaturdash Sahasrani Rakshasam Bhim Karmanam Hatanyeken Ramen Manushena Padatina. Quote, those 14,000 Rakshasas of frightening deeds were eliminated by that one man, a foot soldier, who was Rama. Valmiki Ramayana, Aranya Kand, 26:35. Late one night we happened to be flipping through the channels on the television in the living room. We stumble upon a program documenting life in a jungle in a certain part of the world. It is interesting to see how the rest of the species operate. According to the Vedic understanding, there are up to 8,400,000 different varieties. The species are like specifically configured suits or vessels for the jiva soul to enter. The jiva is unmanifest before, manifest during their time in that vessel, and unmanifest again. Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharat, avyaktanidhananyev tatraka paridevana. Quote, all created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when they are annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation? Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 2:28. This dichotomy of vyakta and avyakta applies only to outside perception. I look outside the window right now and can see the sun. Dawn was a few hours ago. The sun is a welcome sight. We take its heat and light for granted, especially in this part of the world. In around 12 hours or so, the same sun will no longer be visible. It will be avyakta, according to my understanding. This does not mean that the sun disappears or ceases to exist. It is simply out of my vision. The same applies to the jiva, but while they are in one of these animal species, the laws are pretty strict. As Sita Devi references when speaking to the wicked Ravan, the dog inherently understands the formidable nature to the tiger. The dog simply gets a whiff of the tiger from a considerable distance and knows that trouble is on the horizon. Better to exit the area. Nahi gandhamupaghraye Ram Lakshmanayostvaya Shakyam sandarshne sthatum shuna shardulayorив. Quote, smelling the fragrance of Rama and Lakshman, like a dog smelling a tiger, certainly you will not be able to stand. Sita Devi speaking to Ravan, Valmiki Ramayana, Sundarkand 21:31-32. This particular television program depicts more of the same. The lion goes after a specific kind of animal. The lion knows what it is doing. The lion never loses. The other animal has no chance. The ghastly scene on the television screen depicts what we know to be the food chain. That scientific principle was documented thousands of years ago in the sacred text known as Bhagavad Puran. Ahastani sahastanam, apadani chatushpadam, phalguni tatra mahatam, jivo jivasya jivanam. Quote, those who are devoid of hands are prey for those who have hands. Those devoid of legs are prey for the four-legged. The weak are the subsistence of the strong, and the general rule holds that one living being is food for another. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.13:47. This law of the jungle applies across a host of different combatants, in the sense of an adversarial relationship, the dominator against the dominated, the aggressor against the defender, the abuser against the victim. With respect to the human species, there is a tool to assist in defense against any kind of species. That tool is intelligence. The fearing component, inherent to all animal beings, can be aided by construction of an intelligent fortification system. A security alarm panel in the residential home is but one example. There is also the advancement of military-grade weapons. But when there is a battle between a Rakshasa and a man, the law of the jungle still applies. The Rakshasa is a species described in Vedic literature. It is like an ogre. The Rakshasa is a man-eater. The man is thus the potential victim. If depicted on a television documentary, the man would lose about every single time. What about 4 Rakshasas attacking one man? How about adding another 10 ogres? Take those 14 and multiply it by 1,000. 14,000 Rakshasas attacking a single man in a single area under the common rules of military conflict applying to the time. Does the man stand a chance? Only if that man is actually Vishnu. This is why there is worship of Sri Rama. The Supreme Lord decided to descend as an ordinary man. Except God always retains his amazing qualities, gunas. Those qualities are not binding. We are bound by gunas, but for Vishnu those gunas are transcendental in nature. Vishnu as a man can easily defend against 14,000 Rakshasas. While those ogres are expert in black magic, can change shapes at will, and can appear and disappear from sight, Rama is merely on foot. He does not take any extra help. All he has are his arrows loaded in his quiver. Vishnu as a man is not ordinary. He appears as Rama to specifically highlight the omission in the boons requested by Ravan, the king of Lanka. Ravan thought that since the law of the jungle applied, there was no reason to fear any man. He therefore did not ask for immunity from the Manushya race. He never considered that Vishnu could appear from anywhere, at any time, in any visual of his choosing. When Vishnu does make that decision to appear, he can overcome any so-called law of the jungle. In overcoming such laws, Vishnu is a beautiful sight to behold, and so saintly people worship him to this day. In closing, worshipping to this day, remembering skill on display. 14,000 against of Rakshasa army sent, standing fearlessly on the ground, despite many enemies to surround. Rama with his arrows defended, force into each ogre extended.